There is one key thing that every one of us need if you're going to invest, especially in real estate in the Dominican Republic. I'm going to tell you what that is, how to get it, and also what else you could invest in here in the DR. Let's dive in. What's going on, everybody? My name is Jamie Gruber. I left my high-paying job in 2021 and moved with my family to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic in 2022. Every Friday, I do what I call AMA Friday, which is answering questions that I've been asked on Instagram or YouTube. And the theme this week was around how to pick the right development, the right opportunity, pricing, generally about real estate, and then other types of investment. And if you're wondering, I'm recording from the Hall food court here at Downtown Mall in Punta Cana. It's not open yet, so it's pretty quiet. And if you've watched my other videos, you know I'm a little shy about doing this in public. I'm trying to build that nerve, and nobody here helps. But let's get right to it. The first question is really a set of questions that all are asking the same thing. So let me just read them to you real quick. Angel 4Z says, how do I hire a real estate agent in DR when I live in the US? I've been told to watch out. Ashley M. Ramos says, establish developers on the North Coast, Cabarete or Rio San Juan or Puerto Plata area. Ed J. Rod GZ says, which developer would you recommend young couples looking for to invest in a rental? And D. Will 1025 says, please give information on your how to invest in the DR, your point of contacts and price and areas. There's also questions about best developer in Vista Cana, my take on Vista Cana, so on and so forth. For all of these questions, let me give you a very clear answer. You need a great realtor. That first question asking about finding a trusted realtor and all of that, I'll be honest, when I first moved down here and I started looking at projects, that was my biggest issue. Like, who do I trust, who do I not trust? And over time, I learned a few people that I can trust, and I work with them myself. Full disclosure, I have not purchased yet here. We're in the process of looking right now for investment property as well as a personal residence. We initially moved here for 1 year, and we've stayed since. So the plan was just to come here, rent for a year, not to be here permanently. But now our plans have changed, and so now we're looking to invest, knowing what we know now. And also, one other disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, nor am I your financial advisor. So seek professional counsel, get the right attorneys and all of that stuff. Whatever you need, do your own due diligence, no matter what I say or anybody on the internet says. But back to this point about what you need. You need a trusted realtor. When I first started getting asked that question, I would say, I don't know. I just find somebody. Which to me was like, oof, okay, good. I don't have to be responsible for that person's needs. But I learned over time that the best deliverable I can give to people is, well, hey, if I trust somebody and I work with them, maybe I can help you by connecting you to those trusted realtors. So down in the caption below, in the description, I have a link, and it says, if you need a realtor in DR, fill out this form. It's a few questions, fill it out, and then we connect you with one of 3 right now realtors that I trust in the Punta Cana area, and then I have realtors in other parts of the country that I'm connected to as well, like Santo Domingo, Santiago, Las Terrenas, Cabarete, so on. Now, to the question about share your contacts, I won't do that, and here's why. My obligation is to 1, my reputation, and then 2, of course, to all of you. What I mean by that is if I start throwing realtors and their contact information, and here's how you reach them and everything out there into the world, and then they end up sucking later, I don't want to be associated with that. I want to be able to switch out the realtor that's sucking with the realtor I do trust as I meet more and more people. Because here's the secret. Being in DR is the secret, the weapon to understanding how to do business in DR, which might feel counterintuitive. A lot of people want to
well, what's the business of the real estate I can get into from over here down there?
And it's like, honestly, the best way to know is being down here first. But that's where I come in, I suppose. I can help you at least on the realtor side. And I'm trying to build out networks of attorneys, short-term rental management companies that I trust. And I've looked at a bunch. As soon as I have people I trust, I'll share the opportunity for you to connect to them with you. But for right now, I can connect you to a realtor. I won't share who they are. Now, I will feature the realtors that I work with in videos that I do. I did a Cap Cana video recently with one of the realtors I work with. Her name is Francesca. Full stop. I didn't put her WhatsApp info up. I didn't put her website up. I didn't ask for her Instagram handle. But you saw at least an example of a person that I work with. But again, Francesca starts sucking, Francesca's out. And I've told her that. But summarizing this, the secret weapon to investing in real estate down here, to understanding the right developers to trust, whether or not Vista Cana is a good project, all of that is to have a great realtor. And the only way to know about a great realtor is to either be here or find somebody you trust who can then connect you to a great realtor. Here's who I'll tell you likely not to trust. Close family, close friends. We did that. I'm not saying it because I'm trying to say, oh, only trust me. Trust El Gringo. I got to get that shirt made. But trust people that you feel have something at stake. Like for me or anybody like me that's saying, hey, check out this realtor, check out this. Like I have my reputation at stake on that. And I value that highly. But family members, they kind of know that you're family. So sometimes they just like, oh, my buddy does that. Go ahead and do it. Connect with them. They'll take care of it. And they're often like the worst. I don't know if that's other people's experiences. Drop it down in the comments. Let me know. But anyway, that's the best I can offer to you. Connect with me. I'll connect you to a realtor, one that I trust, one that I vetted, one that I work with, or find a realtor through trusted networks that you absolutely know about down here that can help you out with finding the property, vetting the developer, or whatever it might be. Now, to Ed J. Rod GZ's question about a young couple developer looking to invest in a rental, again, fill out the form if you want a connection to somebody who knows that way better than me. But here's what I would say about young couple. If I'm a young couple, we're again married with 2 kids, 9 and 6 years old right now. But if I'm a young couple, I'm looking at a few specific spots around the country. You're looking in Punta Cana specifically, Cortecito, Los Corrales. In fact, I'm looking right now at a developer in Cortecito to invest in a property there because I believe heavily in what Cortecito is and what it will become. But if you're young, the restaurant scene, the nightlife, all of that is up in Cortecito if you want Punta Cana. If you don't want Punta Cana, young couple, I would look at Cabarete. Great expat community up on the North Shore, beautiful spot, and still a little bit more affordable, I would say, than what you're going to buy down in Punta Cana. The difference is there's less development there. There is some, but there's more resale of homes in Cabarete and on the North Shore than in Punta Cana. The other place for a young couple, for me, if you like the urban life, would be Piantini in Santo Domingo. That neighborhood is awesome. We love going there. But at night, for sure, there's nightlife, there's energy, there's all of that. Family with 2 young kids, not ideal for us. But those are the spots I would look at as a young couple to invest in. The developers, again, I defer to realtors I trust to indicate to you the right developers because, again, they have reputational risk if they give you the wrong ones. All right, let's move on. GoInc33 asks, why do you think it's better to buy investment properties in DR instead of US? Here's my answer. I don't necessarily. My investments in the United States as a syndicator are in multifamily apartment properties that I'm a general partner and a limited partner in Denver, LA, Austin, all with a group called Quantum Capital. I've stepped back a bit from day-to-day operations with Quantum Capital just because other things I have, other ventures are kind of blowing up for me. But I'm still an investor and I'm still a general partner in the deals that we've done together. The United States market is amazing and I'll continue to look for investment opportunity there. So this isn't an issue of why I think it's better to buy here. I just think that this is a great alternative place to invest as well. And here's why. The Dominican Republic has a lot of things bubbling for it right now. Tourism is extremely up. We're on track for about 12 million visitors this year. For context, it was like 7 million 2 years ago or 3 years ago, pre and post pandemic. Motorcycles. Not sure if you can hear that. Second, the Dominican Republic is becoming a nearshoring option for the United States. Microchip development, medical device development, textiles, all of those things are here and growing. Third, they're establishing here zona francas, which are tax-free zones, tax-free shipping zones, so that business can be conducted here and exported tax-free to other countries like the US. And fourth, there's a ton of investment down here in infrastructure, roads, hospitals, all of that. Look, I talked to so many people about the Dominican Republic who haven't been here in 3-4 years, and that doesn't feel like very long. But in DR terms, right now, the progress that's happened, that is a lifetime. You may as well say you were here in 1975. This country has blown up. And absent a black swan event of some sort, a global economic recession, I don't see it stopping. Can it slow? Sure. Will prices correct? Sure. That happens in any real estate market, anywhere in the world, ever. Go look at any chart on it. But on the long term, values here have climbed and they will continue to. There is not overdevelopment, in my opinion, in Punta Cana. There is demand exceeding supply. Look, for companies like Noval or other international development brands or billionaires that are here investing in more and more and more projects to be built, they're not dumb. They're looking at the research. They're looking at the market dynamics. They understand that by building, they're filling in for demand. They're not just building and hoping something happens one day. Way too much money at stake, way too smart for that. And let me give you this example. I've used it before for those who watch me. Cap Cana is an incredible residential and resort community to the south edge of Punta Cana on the eastern part of the island. That project has been going on for years, since before the 2008 economic crash. You know what happened in that crash? Cap Cana went bankrupt. But here's what else I'll tell you. If you bought an 06, 07 at the height of pricing in Cap Cana, if you did, and you still own that property today, despite a global recession, despite bankruptcy at Capcana, despite the pandemic, your value on that property is way higher. You've made your money. You've made your ROI on that property, guaranteed. I talked to a realtor recently and asked them that question. What do you think? Like, what stops it? Her response was great. She's like,
look, I've been here 20 years. Nothing stops it. We've had storms, economic recessions, pandemics, you name it.
Slows it, not stops it. So the fundamentals of the Dominican market, a guy on the ground, my take, consult other people, and where I'm looking to invest, and the reason I'm looking to invest more here is I just see tremendous upside for long-term investors. Now I want to go back to D-Will 01025's question. Please give information on how to invest in DR, that first part. I meant to address it earlier. Let me address it now. As I said a moment ago, I think the way to invest, if I'm doing it in steps, is one, have a great realtor, who two, can refer you to a reputable developer. Even if they're going to be delayed, even if they're not going to have all the stuff done on time, a reputable developer. And then three, have long-term thinking. If you're looking to invest and flip, you can do that. There are people here that invest in pre-construction deals and buy a $100,000 condo in 2024 that's going to be ready in 2027. And by the time it's ready, it's $150,000 and they flip it for $130,000. That's an absolutely viable strategy until it's not, until there is a correction, a downturn in the market, a cooling, whatever it might be. But if you're buying and saying, I'm buying that, I'm going to hold it, like any real estate, you're going to do really, really well. That's my take. The other thing I would say is if you're able to buy and not rely on Airbnb as the only way to afford whatever you're buying, that's my recommendation. I do think there's a lot of stuff coming online. It's harder to differentiate yourself as an Airbnb host. So that is something difficult. This short-term rental, we'll see. I think it's a viable strategy, but again, as a bonus. Oh, I made a little money to offset the cost of the unit that I own, or I covered my HOAs because the unit's paid off. Like, that's an amazing way to invest here. And then one day you're done with it, 6, 7, 8 years, you sell it for 2, 3 times what you paid for it, while maybe along the way breaking even on cost and using it to your discretion. The other option that I think, my opinion, is an underserved market here is a long-term rental. There are people here who want to rent homes or apartments long-term. It means that you can't come down to the apartment and use it perhaps, but if it's a matter of investing for the long term and that's not a consideration for you, to have to come down and use it all the time, long-term rentals is a great, great strategy, my opinion. All right, Glenn1 has the question, are you investing with developers or in a personal residence? My answer is both. Here's my personal situation. Again, we moved down here for 1 year from Michigan. We rented our house out through a company called ALE Solutions to people who were displaced by fire, flood, or some sort of insurance loss. We get a bit of a premium on the rent. It's furnished, Wi-Fi, electric, all of that's in my name still. We pay it. We take care of lawn care and pool care. But again, we get a good rent because an insurance company's paying for it. We haven't used that in a while. We have now found those types of renters, longer term, 6, 8, 9 months, midterm, if you will, that are building a home that's not ready yet, or they're having a kitchen remodel done for 2, 3 months, and they just need a place to go, and they pay a premium for that. But that's what we did. We're going back to the United States from mid-July through August, coming back for the start of the school year for our kids down here to the Dominican Republic, which we've already paid for next year. So anybody who's like, ooh, he's not coming back, we'll be back. I got 17 grand out there for school for 2 kids. We'll be back. Plus we love it here. So, but in that 6 weeks, we're going to make the decision, do we or do we not sell our house in the United States? So our strategy right now, and this is like today, last night on date night, talking to my wife. So as this comes out, as it's recorded, in a week it could change, but I'll share it anyway, is can we minimize our expense here? That gets us closer to buying a personal residence here in the neighborhood we want, which is going to cost us $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. That's for living. But at the same time, I'm sourcing developers and I'm sourcing opportunities in certain markets. Honestly, for me, Cortecito is where I'm looking for an investment property. And honestly, if I'm talking to you right now, I think I'm pretty close to a developer that I love. And for those that follow me, I'll make sure that I document that whole process, who the developer is, why I chose them, and what that whole process looks like if and when we make that decision. But that's my personal opinion. I believe in Cortecito. I want exposure to it. That's where I'm looking, and I've got a developer or 2 up there that I'm looking at right now. So the answer is both. Looking at a personal residence and we're looking at a development project. If we don't sell our house in the States, development project for sure, probably Cortecito area, we're going to go forward with that. Personal residence, we'll have to see. If we sell in the United States, what we're likely to do is buy a lot in the neighborhood we want to live in, and my wife wants to build her dream home. That's what we're thinking right now. Could change in a week. But it gives you a sense, at least, of what we're thinking, how we're operating. And for some of you that are moving down here, looking to invest down here, I hope just hearing the thought process helps. All right, Andy P. Official asks, what are you waiting for to become a real estate agent? Here's my honest answer to that. I don't want to be. Now, I might get my license at some point. We'll see. But for right now, I have no interest in either having a team of agents or having to build up a team through Keller Williams or Remax or whatever, nor do I want to go around showing houses to people. You know what I love? It's this. People ask, like, why do you do this? Like, I actually love creating content. I've always loved documenting whatever my story is, my journey is, and I'm happy to do it for all of you. The 3 agents that I told you I recommend locally, the others that I have around the country, sure, they pay me a commission, a kickback on that. I don't need to be licensed for that right now. If I ever needed to be, I'll get licensed. But for me, I would rather work with the best agents that know what they're doing and allow them to do their level best while I just say, hey, I'm going to be watching you, agents, and if you're not doing a great job, I'm going to boot you and I'm going to bring in somebody different that's a great agent to serve this audience that I love serving. So I don't want to be an agent. I don't want to show people houses. And I only want to work with the best agents. Somebody gave me this tip. They said, when you build an agency, like you build your own brokerage, you got to have training and all that stuff. And you're going to have some great agents, but you're going to have a lot of agents that don't do anything. And they keep telling you like, oh, you haven't trained me on this. You haven't trained me on that. Like, oh, that's awful. I don't want that at all. If I could take the best agent from different brokerages, the ones that are award-winning, highly reputable, and provide them to you, that's more fun for me because then I just get to record shit while sitting in a food court. Stay Focused 1208 asks, what's a good area to buy land at an affordable price to build a house that is near a nice beach? All right, here's where you have to bust myths with the myth bust. Here's where we have to bust some myths on pricing down here. So I'm going to take affordable to mean the cheapest possible because affordable is different things to different people. But here's the thing. Beachfront land, like on the beach, ain't going to be cheap. I've heard this myth like of people saying, hey, I want to get a condo on the beach for under 100K. It's like, I want my wife to admit she's wrong one time. Like, some things are just never going to happen. So if you're holding out for like a $50,000 or $80 or $100 or $200,000 property on the beach, I mean, on the beach, good luck. Hell, in Punta Cana Village, a 2-3 bedroom condo is going for 400 grand. That's not on the beach. You get on a good beach, a nice beach here, you're spending some money. There's always exceptions. Somebody might have one. And if you know of them, drop them down below. But here's what I will tell you. If you're looking for beachfront property, the areas I would recommend looking, and I can't tell you that it's even available, that I think are in the path to progress and where you can spend the least money possible right now are going to be Macau to the northern side of Punta Cana, further north in Miches. And then you're going to have these little like Punta Rusia, Pedernales on the south shore, maybe Rio San Juan, something like that, where you might be able to find beachfront property for less than other areas in the country, I'll say. But affordable, I can't promise that. Now, if you watched my video on Cap Cana, Francesca's the realtor, and she shared about $88,000 one-bed condos right outside the gates of Cap Cana, but that have access to Cap Cana. That's a few minutes drive to the beach for a pre-construction one-bedroom, 88 grand. I think 2 bedrooms are 112. Look, fill out the form, type Francesca if you want in the comments field, and I'll make sure you get connected to her because she has, I think, almost exclusive access to that particular project. In Macau, another realtor I work with just sold a pre-construction project off the beach but close for I think about the same. It's like 80, 85, 88,000, somewhere in that range. Again, a reputable realtor with a reputable firm. If that's the one you're thinking about, when you fill out the form, in the comments, put Macau 80K or just something like that so I know to give you to that realtor. Haven't introduced her yet. She's coming soon. We're going to do a tour of Coco Tal together. Coco Tal. But I see some of these comments on like short form videos I do where I say, hey, this condo's 400 grand. And somebody goes, 400 grand out on the beach? Like, you haven't been here in a while. It's cute. So cute. So cute. Global Steve Backup says, other than Punta Cana, would you say Las Terrenas is a safe place to invest? I would say Las Terrenas is not only a safe place to invest, but I'm getting anxiety over not looking there more myself right now. Here's the thing about Las Terrenas and Samaná. It's still not anywhere near close to what it's going to be. It's already getting expensive, more than you might think. And in 10 years, I guarantee all of us watching right now are going to say, I wish I would have invested in Las Terrenas, Samaná. I think that area is going to pop. When you look at all the other dynamics I mentioned, Zona Franca, microchip production, hell, even oil has been talked about again recently. We all know about gold. There's a lot of potential opportunity here. And then you look at Samaná. I get it. It's a beautiful place. I would love for it to be untouched, but it's not going to be. Developers will develop Samaná more than it is right now. The airport there will have more than one flight every 6 weeks. And it's like one a day, but you get my point. That area will pop. I don't want to give it next Punta Cana status or anything like that. I think Punta Cana is a Dubai. It's a very unique place, but it's going to be something else. And I do believe in Las Terrenas. My eyes are starting to focus there, and I've recently secured a realtor connection there because a lot of people are asking about it, and I want to be of service. So same thing. I think Las Terrenas is an amazing place. So yes to Global Steve. Back it up, Steve. Into Las Terrenas. Mr. Jose Jr. says, what legal requirements are you going to be looking for in the contract for any property investments? Here's what I've learned. There's really two provisions that I want to look for in any contract I sign for a pre-construction property. There's probably more, but this is my learning. As of now, I'm learning along with you. If people know more, drop them down below. Oh, and by the way, I always forget to say it. Subscribe. Huh? Like 70% of people watch this without subscribing. Like, come on, show me some love. If you want to, only if you want to. Two provisions are, one, around timeliness of delivery, and the second is around price at delivery. So in the US, and this is one of those dynamics, I should do a video a little bit more on this. Let me know if you want me to do that. But like the difference in the US and here, like in the US, when you sign a contract for a price, that's the price. No matter what happens between here and there, that's the price. Unless I make changes to the project.
Oh, I want this kitchen cabinet, or I want this deck now, or this roofing, or whatever.
You understand that I'm going to increase the price, but contractor can't. That's not the case here. Many contracts have a provision in them that say that the delivery price can be more than the agreed upon initial price. Now, the provision I'm looking for specifically is how do you decide that? The best way I've learned, the best way I've seen so far in a contract, and I've looked at contracts with my realtors, they show me everything, which is amazing, is for it to say, hey, here's the website that the country uses to track inflation. If inflation tops X percent, say 3 or 5 or whatever, then the pricing will adjust accordingly. And there may even be other provisions in there like up to a max of X. Or it could be on the remaining payments on the project, not on the total cost of the project. In other words, if between down payment and monthly payments, you've already paid $100,000 and the project initial cost was $200,000, the increase could be based on the whole project, or it could be based on the remaining cost of the project. So $100,000 is what you're increasing 3 or 4 or 5% on versus $200,000. So there's little nuances that you can negotiate into contracts on delivery. Now, here's the thing that I've learned about delivery. There's a perception like,
oh my God, the projects are late in the Dominican Republic. Scam.
Meanwhile, the people that rent from me in Michigan, you know why many of them are renting my house? Because the house they're having built is delayed in delivery. I think it's just because it's like,
It's another country. It's the third world.
which it's not. It's a developing nation, getting close to develop. I think that's why, like, when it gets delivered late or it goes beyond the original delivery date, we get all like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But again, smart contractors, smart developers here understand that Americans or Canadians have that mindset, even though in their own country, delivery is delayed on a lot of construction projects. So what I've seen in contracts that's really effective is there's a window followed by a penalty to the developer, paid to you if they're beyond that window with delivery. So here's an example. Project is due to be delivered December 2025. What they'll say is, hey, look, we've got a penalty-free buffer of 6 months. So June 2026, between December 25 and June 26, if we deliver you the project, we pay you nothing back. But after June of 2026, every month that we're delayed, you get back 0.5%, 1% of the value of the project, or maybe it's 1% of the money you've invested so far, or whatever, for every month that we're late. So a provision for how do you determine the increase in price is 1, and a provision for what happens if you're delayed on delivery is 2. Those are the 2 I'm looking for. I'm sure there are more. Again, drop it in the comments. Let me know if you know of some. But those are the biggies to me. I love this question. Nakvish asks, if you were into investing in any business venture beside real estate, what would it be? Here's my answer to what I keep my eyes on right now. Is this. 1, sarcasm relief. Not sarcasm relief. That would be funny if there was like a fund to get rid of sarcasm, because like in this moment would be very ironic because I'd be paying into the fund to get rid of what I'm doing right now. Haha. Sargasm or sargazo. I've seen it spelled 2 different ways. Seaweed. The seaweed that floats up this time of year. I'm in the summer here right now in DR, if you can't tell by the beads of sweat on my forehead as I sit outside. There's a lot of different projects, different funds being raised for sargasm relief. I can't tell you the ones I'd recommend because I'm looking myself, but that's something I would look at investing in. The second is going to be the microchip development, microchip industry that's going to be exploding down here. Medical devices as well, anything in those places I think are highly investable. There's probably more. Others can drop down below what they're interested in the comments. But those 2, for me, are 2 other asset classes I'm keeping my eyes on down here. Jesse RAMC says, how do you find services that you trust? Cleaning, nanny, etc. Here's my tip, my hack for finding a great cleaning lady. There are services you can hire. We've never done that. When we came down and we moved down here, we spent 2 months in Cap Cana in an Airbnb. The Airbnb host provided us with a cleaning lady. After 1 or 2, the cleaning lady was pretty good, and we asked her, hey, do you want to kind of be our cleaning lady at our house? So she became that. She introduced us to another cleaning lady that we brought in on weekends, who is a rock star. Over time, the original cleaning lady it worked out that she wasn't working for us anymore, and the weekend lady became our full-time lady. Isabel is amazing. But here's the thing. Finding is one thing, keeping is another. What I've learned is this. The people that are struggling to keep their cleaning ladies often are trying to find the lowest possible dollar to pay them. If they're at all good and they show any sense of ownership, pay them. I don't mean pay them like incredible, but like we're told,
oh, the going rate for a cleaning lady is like $350, $400 US full-time for the month.
We pay ours $500, and then we provide some other benefits like some transportation costs, health benefits, those sorts of things. We care. We show her we care. I bring her home a chai latte. She loves chai lattes from Starbucks when I go get one. We bring her cake when we go out for dessert or something like that. Me and my wife go on a date night. We'll bring her a piece of cake. Sometimes we'll order her a meal and bring it home for her so she can take it home. Like little things like that. Just treat them well. Here's the value of a great cleaning lady / housekeeper. She also babysits our kids. My wife went up to Las Torenas for a girls' weekend. The boys, my kids, had a birthday party at this trampoline park locally. And I was like, oh, it's on a Saturday. Maybe Isabel will go to the trampoline park and hang out with them. I was exhausted. It was like Thursday, Friday, me and the kids. I just wanted to go to the gym for an hour. She agreed. I paid her extra for that. She came to the trampoline park, and my older kid who is going through like allergy stuff, not even allergy, like intolerances, food intolerances. One of them is chocolate. He can have it every so often, but he was going through a regimen, and the allergist in Santo Domingo said, have him do no chocolate for a certain amount of time. I thought we were past the time. So when we got to the trampoline park, the cake was chocolate. We walk in, Isabel's there. This is actually in Spanish. I'm proud of myself. I did this. But my son asked, oh, I can have cake. And I said, yeah, I guess you can. Isabel was like, no, you can't have cake. You can't have chocolate. No. I'm like, oh, he can't? She's like, no. And it was like concern on her face, like, no, he can. Okay. I stepped away. So a sense of ownership comes when you treat these folks really, really well, in my opinion. Doesn't mean get taken advantage of, but if you got a good one, pay them. Calvin CC asks, what is your favorite Dominican alcoholic drink of choice? This is funny. My drink of choice right now is a tequila old-fashioned. An old-fashioned with tequila, not with bourbon. In fact, the restaurants locally who originally were confused by that when I asked in Spanish, they get it down now. In fact, one of them we go to just says, oh, old-fashioned con tequila? I was like, sí. And they know which tequila, which is called Maestro. I think it's like Maestro Doble or Casa Maestro. Careful with the Maestro Doble, because one time they thought I meant double shot. That was a hell of a old-fashioned. But I love tequila old fashions. That's my go-to drink right now. I've had it on every Grub with Gruber episode I've done, which is my YouTube series. You can see it on the channel here. I'll drop a link down below to the 2 episodes that have been released so far. I sit in local restaurants with guests and we talk about life and living in DR over meals, so you can see the restaurants down here and hear from them and learn from them. But that's my go-to drink. I'm actually thinking about asking the restaurants to give it a name, like El Gringo or El Calvito. Is that the name? El Calvito? I think I'm saying that right. You can correct me on that. Or maybe just the Jamie. I want you to be able to go into a restaurant and say, give me the El Calvito or the El Gringo, and they'll bring out the drink of choice that I have, the tequila old fashioned with Maestro. But if you're asking like my favorite drink here, I like Brugal. I'm not a big beer person, so Presidente is fine. I actually like Canita's beer better, a little better, because it's more flavored and I'm foo-foo. But yeah, I think that's the most honest answer I can give you on favorite drink. Now, you want to see a great restaurant down here where I have the Gringo or El Calvito, I'll put the link right here for you so you can see it. My Grub with Gruber episode. And other than that, I appreciate you following along. Please subscribe, like, comment. Let me know how things are going for you with my content. I'll see you on the next one.